Hi, Meg. How are you?
I am doing good. It has been a whirlwind of a week for me, though. I'm working on a bunch of projects, which I'm excited about, but it's been wild. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. I think we both are spinning many plates.
Yes. Yes.
I'm at the point where I'm trying to think, like, is there anything here that is a paper plate that can fall on the floor and then I'll just pick it up later? We can do it.
Yeah.
And also, we're sharing some of the plates.
We are sharing the plates.
And and the thing is, even though sometimes it's a lot, I'm so excited about every single little thing or big thing that it still feels good overall.
Same. I feel so pumped about some of the stuff we're working on, like the retreat that's coming up. Obviously, we won't stop talking about the 500 Hard Things campaign that we're doing inside the collective. It's just been like really exciting. But
yes, it has. And Meg, could you please tell us more about the 500 Hard Things campaign? Because I believe it's the first time that we're mentioning that over here.
Yes.
And we would like to invite our YouTube friends to be part of it.
Yes, we would. And I'm so excited about this. So we haven't publicized this out in the world. I think we'll be announcing it this Thursday on Instagram. So by the time this comes out, people will see it. But what we are doing is a dedication to Project Heal's 15th birthday. So it's kind of, we're challenging our community, the Recovery Collective, and everyone who listens to our content, watches our videos, follows us on Instagram. The goal is for all of us to commit as a community to doing 500 hard things in recovery in honor of Project Heal's 15th birthday. And in addition to committing to do 500 hard things, we're also committing to donate at least $500 to Project Heal at the end of May as a thank you to them for always helping make people in recovery's lives a little bit easier and making it possible for them to do their hard recovery things. And I could keep going. So what is a hard thing? A hard thing is really the small little victories in recovery that we don't often get to acknowledge enough. So a small thing might be, hey, I brought up a really difficult topic in therapy today, or I decided to take medication for my mental health and I'm taking that brave step, or I challenged a fear food, or, you know, I ate out at a restaurant I was afraid to go to today, or anything that you can imagine. Like, everyone's hard things are going to be different. But we're all tracking them in a little form, and we'll be sharing them throughout the next few weeks to the community. So it's also a nod to Glennon Doyle, who always says we can do hard things, and she's a recovery warrior herself. So we're kind of honoring her as she shares her journey openly. If you guys follow that podcast, she's been doing that too. So it's kind of like a little mix of that as well. I'm going to pause and let you respond.
We've been talking about this for a while because I believe you suggested this, like, it was 2022. Pretty sure it was basically last calendar year. And we sort of kept it under wraps for this time of year. And I want to make sure that anyone watching and who's curious to sort of do something or learn more about this knows that in the description below, we will be adding a link to the Google form where you can add your hard thing that you've done so that you can contribute to the wins that we're collecting. A second link that will be down there will be the link to collect funds. We have set up a page with Project Heal so that we can collect funds that will go straight to them And of course, we would so appreciate if you can help in any way that you can. And that includes sharing the link with others, right? That is also so appreciated. And of course, please join us on Instagram, as we will be celebrating people's hard things over there on a more than weekly basis.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. It's really a cool campaign. And what I've loved seeing about it is so far, because we've only had it publicized within the Recovery Collective for less than a week. Mm-hmm. I've seen members already using it as a little accountability tool. They're like intentionally picking a hard thing to do and submitting it. And so we have some members who have submitted multiple hard things already. And it's been fun for them and it's been fun for me to watch them dedicate themselves to taking action. Because I think at the end of the day, taking action is probably one of the hardest parts of recovery, if not the hardest part. And taking action takes a lot of courage. So this kind of lights a little bit more of a fire under people who have maybe been sitting on thinking about doing something. Maybe they can actually do it and acknowledge it and allow it to be part of a bigger cause, something bigger than even their own recovery, if that helps.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I didn't expect to share that today, but I'm so glad we are.
It means a lot to us, right? Like, our work with Project Heal is really meaningful to us. And the fact that we're trying to help them help more people means, like, for people like Meg and I, obviously, we're recovered, and now it's our job to sort of guide others. And we truly are helpers at heart. And we know that there are a lot of barriers to accessing help, and Project Heal makes such a difference in the world, in the work that they do. So this really, 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 really means a lot to us.
Mm-hmm.
How many reallys could I add to that?
500 reallys.
I'm not going to do that, because that would probably destroy a few people's ears. Like, no, and Claire, we really don't need you to do that.
But yes, I love Project Heal. I think the leaders over at Project Heal have done so well over the recent years, just making Project Heal a lead exemplary nonprofit in this space. So just really proud that we can work with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're turning 15, which is really a big deal.
It's so amazing. I mean, I remember last year partnering with them, right, for their 14th anniversary, and that was so fun. And this year we're like, let's do something again. And, I don't know what we're going to come up with for next year, but, one thing at a time. We'll start with 500 hard things, and then we'll see what we do next year.
Yep. And I'm telling you, I'm already obsessed with the 500 hard things campaign. So part of me is like, can we do it next year too?
Yeah, but then knowing us, we're going to be like, let's raise the stakes.
I did not realize how much 500 was until we decided to do that goal.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, full background story. We were like, yeah, 500 sounds good. And then we're like, so how many a day does that mean? And then we're like, oh, that's a lot. But this is why we can do hard things. It's as a community that we're getting there, and we will get there. We 100% will get there.
We will. There are members who are not going to let this waver. Like yesterday, I was talking to a few members, and they're like, yeah, this is not happening. So,
yep.
The determination.
The good thing is, as humans in recovery can be, like with eating disorders, we can have that kind of temperament where we're extra stubborn, extra driven, which, could backfire. But the good news is it means that when we want something, we can make it happen.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And with the way people are using the form already, I have no doubt in my mind. And we have some pretty loyal viewers here who might, now that they know about it, maybe use it as an accountability tool themselves.
We count on you. And if you do actually add a few things, please don't hesitate to also let us know in the comments, because that way we can give you a little shout out in the future.
I would love
You
that.
deserve
If
that.
maybe even next time we record, we could read some of the hard things that were left from our YouTube fam.
100%.
If that
We can do
happens.
that. We're counting on you, people.
Yep, we are counting on you. All right, we have a topic though today. That was a whole different conversation.
That's true. We do have a topic. We have a really, really interesting question. And it comes from someone whose friend is in recovery currently. So this human is asking, hey, my friend is in recovery and I don't understand why complimenting her is so triggering.
Well, I just want to say that I love that there's a friend out there concerned about a friend in recovery and that they're actually asking questions and seeking answers so that they can be more supportive of the friend that they care about. So I can understand why it's confusing that a compliment would be triggering or upsetting to someone in recovery. And I think when I hear the word compliment, I'm assuming this individual is talking about maybe compliments about appearance.
I made the same assumption, right? And I agree with you. I do want to start by saying, like, honestly, thank you. I really wish more people who are around humans in recovery would go out there and ask questions and try to be more informed, because I can see already that you're well-intentioned and good-hearted and that you're not trying to be hurtful or, make it harder for your friend. So, we really, really, really see that and we appreciate that. And like you said, we're imagining that when you say compliment, you mean something like, oh, you look great today, or
you
look so healthy. Yeah. So why, maybe we can start with why is that hard to hear?
Okay. So I know that was a really triggering comment for me when I was in recovery. Ooh, I just remember feeling like it made me really self-conscious of my appearance, because if you are restoring weight in recovery, the comment about looking healthy usually means they're noticing weight gain on your body and trying to encourage you and trying to say, oh, like, you look really good. I'm so happy to see that you are making improvements in your eating disorder recovery process. Like, that's what they're saying. But when they say you look healthy, all the person who is sick is thinking is, oh my gosh, they think I look fat. Oh my gosh, they can notice my body has changed. And it is just difficult to cope with. And, I hate that it's such a charged comment, especially because it comes from a really loving place. But I know that was how I interpreted it. And I know many of my clients interpret it similarly.
And, I want to broaden the scope here, because I want to make sure that other people who might use this, in other contexts can sort of apply the same logic to this compliment. Because yes, to some people, that's going to mean like, oh, we're seeing more life in you because maybe you need to, gain some weight again back because you've lost quite a bit because of your eating patterns. But for many, many, many other people, it might also be that they now look more fit, right? Or the fact that they're losing the weight is what is leading other people to tell them, oh, you look so great, like you look so much healthier and whatever. And in their case, it means that they have lost weight, right? Because that was actually my case. Like, I got compliments every time my weight was going down, and I never had that emaciated look, which is actually the case for most people in recovery.
Yeah.
So
that's actually such a good reminder of that angle, because that perpetuates and fuels the eating disorder. So actually both comments really fuel the eating disorder. But I think when the compliment is supporting diet culture mentality, it's even harder to not let your eating disorder like sink its teeth into that.
Mm-hmm. So true. 100% true. And, you know, when you said earlier, like, it's bringing back the attention of the human who's struggling onto their body. And that's already something that they're probably very aware of. They're probably already hyper attentive of their body, and they probably already hold enough opinions about it. And honestly, beyond that, there can be so many other reasons, right? That, you know, our appearance changes and our weight fluctuates and whatnot. And at the end of the day, what we're saying isn't you have bad intentions, you're a mean friend or whatever. We're saying, you know what? We believe that you and this person are friends for other reasons than what they look like. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And instead of sort of debating, you know, when is it okay to make a compliment that is body related? When is it not? What kind would be fine? But this person, but that person, but I like it. But how about we just park that to the side for a second and we say, yeah, but why are you friends? You're there for me when life is tricky. Like, you are like a sunshine in my life. You're so generous. You inspire me. Like, your passion for this thing is really like fun to see. You know, when I'm with you, I feel like I had a good day. That is a compliment about who they are, not what they look like. And so to an extent, I kind of like to sort of park the other thing on the side, because I don't want to enter into a debate on whether or not you like, you know, not you, Meg, but you other person, you like those compliments or not. You know what? You can, like, but how about we just park that to the side for a second and we say, you know what? This person, like your friend in recovery, they're trying to, you know, rebuild a sense of self, and, you know, they're probably working on finding a sense of self-worth and self-esteem. And maybe it would be super nice and super helpful to hear all the reasons that you really appreciate them as a friend. And I'm pretty sure that has nothing to do with the way they look like.
Right. Absolutely. I think I couldn't agree more with that. If anything, we don't have to park the car to the side. We can just drive it off the cliff. Like, nobody ever needs to comment on someone else's body, even if it's the form of a compliment, even if it's maybe not like a weight-focused compliment, maybe it's just a body-focused compliment. It's still so uncomfortable. Like, I don't like thinking about someone looking at my body and like making a thought about it, even if it's really like a positive or in their mind positive. It still makes me feel like, okay, so they've been like looking very intensely at like a certain part of my body or what, you know, it's just like, it's just uncomfortable altogether, even if it's intended well. So yeah, I agree. Focusing on that person's soul and who they are as a human and complimenting them to build up their sense of self is probably a much more helpful comment for a friend in recovery.
I love how you're like, you know what, girl, I'm not parking the car. I'm just pushing off the cliff.
Drive it off. Zoom. Let's go. Honk, honk. Honestly, though, because I don't think I have given a compliment on someone's appearance in forever, because I just know how uncomfortable that is. And I wish people could just become a little bit more aware, you know, and even if it is someone who doesn't have an eating disorder, but say they have lost weight, it's still inappropriate to celebrate someone's weight loss, even if they don't have an eating disorder, even if it's just like starting out as an innocent diet, like that compliment could be the thing that sparks and fuels an eventual eating disorder down the road. And
or even if it's not even a diet, like, you know, because people
lifestyle change,
you know, whatever, like people gain and lose weight for so many reasons that can be something completely different than an intentional, you know, effort to shift anything. And the reality is we very, very rarely know, like we nearly never know what the actual reason is. Like maybe we know for like our partners, you know, but for anyone else, I would never know. Like there aren't many people whose life I know well enough to like even have like an adequate inkling what's going on. And if anything, honestly, but I know that that's also because of, you know, the field that I work in, I would actually be worried if I see like big fluctuations of like, are you okay?
Yeah, that's my worry is always that sparks worry more than anything on my end. And weight gain actually doesn't spark as much any worry really for me because in my mind, I think like when I see someone who has gained weight, I usually think they must be getting healthier. They must be getting happier. Maybe they've tried new medication or, you know, there's just like so
Again,
many.
it's so hard to know, right? Like
Yeah, you never know.
Like we mostly don't know. Like I genuinely, I can't know. Other than for my partner, I can't know for any direction. There is absolutely no way. In any case, if we're talking about like one of my friends, I would be having a conversation that would sound exactly the same, regardless of what I'm seeing. As in like, are you okay? Like, how are you? How's life? And by the way, I would probably insist, even if I don't see any changes, because people are so good at hiding when they're not doing well, but that's another conversation. And at the end of the day, any of my questions and any of my compliments would be highlighting what I value and who I value. And it's them as a human. And it's that simple, right? That we're coming back to the exact same thing, which is the way that we hold conversations, the ways that we compliment people is a mirror of what it is that we value in them.
Yes.
And I really want to make sure that my relationships are built on who we are and not what we look like.
Yeah. Do you want to know what I'm really guilty of that I'm trying to switch out?
Yes, I really do want to know.
Seeing like little girls in the world, and I still catch myself saying, "Oh, you look so pretty," and complimenting their appearance. I find myself saying that. And I'm just like, this is honesty 101, like commenting on their beauty because they're like little girls and you feel like that's a nice thing to say. I know that's like seemingly innocent, but what that enforces is that their worth is linked to how pretty they are, right? And so I've noticed myself saying that like out in the world, and I'm consciously trying to make sure even though they're kids, you know, there's still...
It's, you know, things trickle, you know, down. I have memories of being very young and hearing things, and my brain definitely learned certain things. And I know that those comments are also extremely gendered, which makes me really angry. And same thing, like even about myself. And it's something that we learn. So the good news is it's something we can unlearn. And yeah, now I try like every time the "you are" starts coming out of my mouth, I try to replace it with like, "so fierce." And I'm like, she probably thinks like, this lady really has a problem. Like,
so
what?
Fierce. I'm going to try, actually, maybe I'll try that instead, because I just don't want to be part of that gendered commentary. I don't want to be a part of that like worth and beauty commentary. And now I feel like it's confession hour, but I know that's something I could improve on.
No, definitely. The only time that I allow myself to do that is when I see puppies.
I actually do that too. With
so cute.
With Dan's puppy, he has a blue eye and a brown eye, and he's this beautiful, like, half lab, half husky named Luca. And I'm always like, "You're such a pretty boy."
We'll accept it. I hope that's okay, because I don't know how to not do that with dogs.
That's a really good point. If anyone knows how to stop, you know, linking worth to appearance with dogs, let us know, because we're still struggling.
But that's the thing, though. Like, there is no... Like, the massive difference, right, is that...
There's no standard of beauty for dogs.
Exactly. We're not associating value to it, whereas when it comes to humans, we are, because there is such a thing as a big system that is oppressing some parts of the population because they do not conform to the standards, whereas doggos don't have standards. We just always think they're amazing. Like, I will be scrolling on my Instagram and be like, "Oh," it's like, because
right? Like even the dogs that are like maybe less designer and beautiful than some really designer, like the dogs that are like scrawny and hairless, I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
It is interesting, isn't it? Right? But that's, if anything, that proves that, there is such a thing as a reference system. And we're trying to move away from that reference system when we're in recovery. And so if you are going back to that reference system by referring to it in your compliments, not helpful for someone in recovery.
Yeah,
so, just to make sure that we loop back to that, you're an amazing friend. Thank you for asking that question. And please know that, all that we're saying is you probably are friends with this person for very deep, soulful, meaningful reasons. And that's what we want to suggest you refer to when you compliment your friend, because that's going to really be helpful for them to hear.
I completely agree. And so I also want to just add, for asking that, we know that you are a very good friend, and we are just hopeful that other friends can be as supportive as you are.
And please don't hesitate to ask more questions. Like, this is the first time we received a question, like an indirect question, and we loved it. Like, we were really excited about it. So please don't hesitate to send more, because we really liked it.
We love it. Okay. Well, this was fun. I liked this question a lot. Everybody, reminder, go check out all the links below, because we have shared so much in the beginning of this episode. Yeah. I wanted to call to action. Just check it all out, because we have a lot going on right now. And Anne-Claire, I'm sending you lots of hugs. And thank you, as always, for being the moon to my sun. Yin to my yang.
Thank you, Meg. Thank you for being my sunshine.
All right. We'll see you soon. Mwah. Bye.